Okay, so today we're diving into something really cool. We're talking about the metaverse, economic freedom, and get this, a country where crypto is absolutely booming. We're heading straight to Vietnam, but we're making a pit stop in the world of blockchain gaming first.
It's amazing to see how these things connect. We're not just talking about playing games here, we're talking about a potential economic shift. And it's all because of how blockchain technology is changing how things work.
We're going to be looking at a Coinbase podcast interview with Howard Su. He's the founder of Ancient8. They're like a guild, but for blockchain gamers in Vietnam. And get this, some people are actually making a living from it.
That's really interesting. It really connects to what we were talking about earlier about the potential for economic change, especially in developing nations.
It's pretty mind-blowing. But before we go too far, let's back up for a second. For those who are new to this whole thing, what exactly is GameFi?
Imagine Pokemon. But your creatures are NFTs with real value. That's GameFi in a nutshell. Players earn crypto just by playing, which they can then cash out. We're talking about games like Axie Infinity, where some players in Vietnam are earning hundreds, even over $1,000 a month.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah.
Especially when you think about the fact that the average income in Vietnam is around $250 per month. So this isn't just some theory, it's changing lives right now.
It really shows how things could change. But it makes you wonder, why Vietnam? What makes it such a good place for crypto?
Right. It's not the first place you think of when you think of technological innovation, at least not for most people.
And that's what makes it so interesting. Vietnam has this incredible openness to new tech, and they have a strong sense of community.
Yeah.
We've mentioned that information about crypto spreads incredibly fast there, almost like a social movement.
It's like they're jumping ahead,
Exactly.
embracing the future of finance in a way that a lot of Western countries are still unsure about.
Exactly. And there's another important factor here, the government's position on cryptocurrency. Right now, Vietnam doesn't tax crypto investments, which makes it very appealing for people and businesses in that world.
So it's like a perfect storm. A tech-savvy population, a strong sense of community, and a government that's open to this new technology. No wonder Vietnam is becoming a crypto hotspot. But let's talk more about this guild, Ancient8. They seem to be at the center of this whole thing.
They're not just a guild, they're building an entire ecosystem. They teach new players how to navigate blockchain gaming. They provide access to expensive in-game assets, which can be a big barrier to entry. And they even connect developers directly with the community.
So it's like they're opening up access to this new world, breaking down the barriers that might keep people from participating.
Exactly. And this is really important because a lot of blockchain games require you to buy NFTs upfront to play, which can be a big obstacle for many, especially in a developing country like Vietnam. Ancient8 is helping to overcome that. It's like they're building a bridge so that more people can reach this new economic frontier.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And you mentioned earlier that Ancient8 does more than just the gaming guild stuff. They've got Ancient8 Research. That's their research division. And it seems like it plays a big part in teaching people about blockchain gaming. What's their deal?
They realized that one of the biggest things stopping people was not having good information, like information that was easy to understand and that they could trust.
Right.
So that's what Ancient8 Research is trying to do.
Makes sense.
They put out these really in-depth reports on different blockchain games. They give potential players the information they need so they can decide if they want to play.
So they're kind of like translators. They're taking this really complicated world of crypto and making it make sense for regular gamers.
Yeah.
Gamers who maybe don't know all the technical stuff.
Exactly. And they're not just talking to the crypto experts. They want to teach anyone who's interested. They have tutorials and guides in their Discord.
Okay.
It's all about making crypto less mysterious and less scary.
That's got to be one of the most important things to get more people involved.
Yeah.
People need to feel like they can do it. And knowing what you're doing is like the biggest part of that.
For sure. And it seems like what Ancient8 is doing is working. They have tons of followers in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And they're getting more and more influence all the time.
It really shows how important education and community are. Like they're just as important as the technology itself when you're trying to make a real difference.
Yeah. And this is where it gets really interesting. Ancient8 isn't happy just being a player in the space. They're trying to actually shape the future of blockchain gaming.
Really? How are they doing that?
Well, they're building the foundation for blockchain gaming to really take off. It's more than just teaching and managing the guild.
What does that look like in practice?
So they're building this launchpad just for blockchain game tokens and NFTs. It'll give developers a direct line to a really passionate and engaged community. Think of it like a Kickstarter. but it's just for blockchain games. It uses the power of community and decentralized finance to help create the next generation of games.
That's amazing. It's like they're building a launching pad to shoot blockchain gaming into the mainstream.
Exactly. And there's more. Ancient8 is also making this thing called a GameFi identity product. We don't know all the details yet, but it seems like it'll help gamers create a verified reputation and have an identity in the blockchain gaming world.
That's really interesting.
It sounds like they're tackling the issue of trust and security.
Right, because that's a big deal in any new digital space.
Yeah, for sure.
It's almost like they're creating a central hub, like a place where developers, players, and investors can all connect. And that helps everyone grow and come up with new ideas.
It's a really cool approach, and it shows how ambitious they are. They don't want to be just a gaming guild. They want to build the blockchain gaming world.
That's a big goal.
Yeah.
But Ancient8 seems like they know what they're doing. They found something special in Vietnam. And they're using their knowledge of Vietnamese culture and the technology to do something no one else is doing. But let's zoom out for a second.
Yeah.
We started this conversation talking about the metaverse.
Right.
And blockchain gaming is a big part of that. But the metaverse can be so much more.
Definitely.
It's about changing how we interact with technology, with each other, with the world around us. In a way, that's what Ancient8 is doing with gaming. They're changing the relationships between players, developers, and the games.
And they're doing it in a way that gives users power. It builds community.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond geographical boundaries.
It's exciting to think about what else the metaverse could become.
Definitely.
But what about keeping this going? We talked about how big the traditional gaming market is. Is there really space for a blockchain gaming to find its place and do well?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's still early days. But it's encouraging to see how many blockchain games are being developed. Ook said that there are about 1,000 games in development right now.
1,000. Wow.
Yeah.
But are these good games? Or are they just trying to make some quick money off the hype?
That's exactly what Ancient8 Research is trying to figure out. They're carefully looking at hundreds of games every month. They want to see past the hype and see if these games will actually last.
So they're looking for the good ones.
Yeah, they're looking for games that are fun, games that care about community, not just games that want to make a quick profit.
So they're like filters, separating the good projects from all the noise. Because there is a lot of noise in this world right now.
There really is.
Even if only a small number of those 1,000 games do well, we could be seeing a huge change in how we think about gaming and entertainment.
I think so.
And this brings us back to how this could change things for the better, like giving people more economic freedom. If blockchain gaming can create jobs that actually last, especially in developing countries like Vietnam,
Yeah.
it could change people's lives.
Absolutely.
It's not just about playing games, it's about having opportunities. It's about having more control over how you make money. And it's about having the chance to be part of this new digital economy.
And that's a really powerful idea. It's an idea that could change the world in some really big ways.
Yeah, it really could. But we also have to think about the downsides, right?
Yeah.
We've seen what happens when markets aren't regulated and how people can get taken advantage of.
You're totally right. No technology is good or bad on its own. It all depends on how we use it. That's where good regulations come in. And making sure these games are being developed ethically.
So how do we make sure blockchain gaming doesn't make the same mistakes?
Governments and regulators need to make rules that protect people and make sure everything's fair.
Right.
And game developers need to care about making games that last. They need to move away from models where people spend too much or where it's hard to even start playing.
It's about finding that balance, right? Where you can have innovation and economic opportunity.
Yeah.
But you're not ruining the games or taking advantage of players.
Exactly. And it's not just up to the government either. Blockchain technology can be really transparent. And communities can actually help govern things.
That's really cool.
Players, developers, and investors can all work together. And together they can create a gaming ecosystem that's more fair and sustainable for everybody.
We're already seeing that happening with DAOs, right? Decentralized autonomous organizations.
That's right.
That's where communities can come together to support and run projects.
It's like a whole new model for working together and making decisions.
Yeah, it really is.
DAOs could actually give players a say in how games are developed and make sure they stay fun and fair, and that they're built to last.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it. It's like we're seeing a huge shift. Gaming, finance, technology, culture, they're all coming together in this way that could totally change the world as we know it.
And Vietnam's a big part of it. Their people get technology, and they have a unique culture. They're showing us what's possible, how technology can give people power, grow the economy, and challenge how things are done.
So for everyone listening to this deep dive, maybe you're thinking, this is cool, but I'm not a gamer. Or crypto's confusing. What's the most important thing to take away from all of this?
Be curious, keep learning. We're just getting started with blockchain technology. The next few years are going to be really exciting. We're going to see even more innovation and change.
And pay attention to Vietnam. What's happening there could show us the future. The future of gaming, the metaverse, and how technology, money, and society all connect.
Yeah, and who knows? You might even want to try out a blockchain game yourself.
Yeah, you might be surprised.
It's a whole new world out there.
That's a great note to wrap up on. Whether you know a lot about crypto or you're just learning, blockchain gaming is a fascinating world. And Vietnam, with their innovative thinking and openness to new ideas, is definitely a country to watch. Until next time, keep diving.